Oh yes, nice bit of prison architect. Lovely. Not too many guards around, eh? I reckon these dodgy blokes are going to use that to their advantage. What are they up to? Well, this don't look too good, does it? Oh dear, oh dear. Ain't you ever heard of Padlock, Sunshine?
Prison Architect is one of those rare games that does exactly what the title says it does. It lets you design and manage your very own prison. You're able to build everything from the ground up, including laying foundations, designating rooms, piping running water, and choosing which couch to place in the common room. It's a curious little project which kept me up way past my bedtime on a few occasions because, like all good simulators, you just want to stick around that little bit longer to see your grand plan through to fruition. Prison Architect has been in public development for a while now. It was available as a playable alpha all the way back in 2012 before being published on Steam, and now reaching Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 in its latest incarnation. I spent some time with both the PC and the PS4 versions to figure out what was the same, what was different, and which one I preferred. The new console edition actually brings with it some intriguing new content. Acknowledging some of the built-in problems of sim building on a console, you can step easily into Prison Warden mode, taking control of a pre-built prison that you haven't had to build from the ground up. You can still make as many changes and adjustments as you'd like, but it does away with some of the tedium of laying foundations, designing floor plans, and figuring out just where to put everything. Similarly, you can also access the appropriately titled World of Wardens, which lets you share your prisons online. Feel free to download and play with other people's creations, or to upload and share your own for other people to explore. Both of these additions and the other console-specific tweaks are great, and they really do make the game better suited to the new hardware. But something about the console version just didn't click for me. Even after working my way through the redesigned tutorial mode, I found myself waiting to get back to the proper game on the PC. Quite a lot of the game translated really well to the console and the bigger screen. The tutorial mode has been renovated to reflect this and actually did a better job of pointing out the game's concepts and controls than the PC version. And the new controls really are very good, it's just that I didn't like them. The problem is that part of the joy of sims like this is the finicky, almost pixel-perfect placement of tiny blocks and objects. For me, that requires a keyboard and a mouse. It could be that it almost makes me feel like I'm doing work, I'm not sure. I mean, have you ever seen a serious architect designing houses on a PlayStation?
These guys are just bored, begging for some action. Come on then. Go on, Rory, sort it out. Oh, he's dead. Well, they made it to the Warden's office. That's him done for, isn't it? There he goes. Well done, friend. That'll be a tier 3 riot you've got on your hands.
It's been a long time since I've played an introversion game. I lost days of my life to Darwinia back in the day and spent hours carefully blowing up strategic parts of the world in DEF CON Everybody Dies. And I can see parts of both of those games shining through the barred windows of Prison Architect. The character AI just makes sense, whether it's the faceless prisoners or the slightly quirky prison staff. The deliberately stripped-back graphical style also recalls the sentient polygons of Darwinia, but I'm not sure it worked as well here as it did there. Sure, it reinforces the notion that gameplay is more than just pretty pictures, but I just didn't like it on the big screen in my living room. I've seen Prison Architect described as a psychological experiment, not of the virtual prisoners, but of the person playing. Working from chapter to chapter, it quickly becomes apparent that there are certain balances and compromises that need to be made in a well-run prison, and most of it comes down to money. Do you want to spend money on rehabilitation and education? That's money you can't spend on guards and security. Want to add an extra row of bars to those windows to keep people safely where they're meant to be? Then you can't pay that fourth cook, and somebody's going to get shanked in the lunch line. Each decision you make has ripple effects that zoom out to the very edges of your prison, meaning you'll think twice or 3 times before placing that wall or hiring that guard. That is, until you work out that the cheapest and most efficient way to run a prison is literally to spend all your money keeping everybody in line rather than keeping them happy.
There you go. See what the shakedown turned up. Security cameras, much better. No nasty surprises now, eh? Oh, lovely. Lots of stuff in the common room keeping them occupied. And who can get upset when Grandma's in the visitation room? There's Rory again. Hello, Rory. Nice upgrades.
I did like Prison Architect. It's a nice little straightforward experience with everything in its right place. But something about it just didn't sit right. Perhaps it was the fact the opening mission of campaign mode involved me literally plugging in a tiny electric chair for an execution. I'm not sure.
Remember, your prison, your rules.